Hi, and welcome to the Business Pioneer Podcast. I'm your host, Erika Montgomery, founder and CEO of Three Girls Media Inc., an award-winning digital marketing agency. Today, I am joined by Dr. Christopher Stone, who is the co-owner of Pacific Northwest Beauty Bar, a thriving med spa that is redefining beauty and wellness here in the Pacific Northwest. Dr. Stone has a background in surgery and orthopedics, but he actually transitioned to the med spa industry, combining his medical expertise with a passion for aesthetics. And he was inspired by his wife's entrepreneurial spirit. He helped grow their business from the ground up into one of the top med spas in his area. From cutting edge weight loss solutions to personalized beauty treatments, Pacific Northwest Beauty Bar really focuses on confidence, which I love, community, and of course, client care. Dr. Stone, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks, Erica. That was an awesome intro. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad you liked it. You deserve a great intro because you're not only a great guy, but you do terrific work as well at Pacific Northwest Beauty Bar. So I obviously mentioned a little bit about what you do in the introduction, but can you give our viewers a greater insight into the various services you provide?
Yeah. As with many of the medical spas, we offer the traditional things like Botox for wrinkles and anti-aging things, making you look young and beautiful as long as you can. We also do like dermal fillers, for people who are wanting to enhance a little bit of volume, in the cheeks, along the chin, some lips, along the nose, even or jawline. One of my favorite treatments is the microneedling. It's more of a natural treatment. It's going to help with it's going to help brighten, lighten, and tighten the skin, and just uses your body's own mechanisms to heal. So it creates little micro traumas on your skin, and your body heals naturally, rebuilding its collagen and elastin. And we'll pair that often with PRP. PRP is platelet-rich plasma. It's actually when we draw some of your own blood, spin it down, and use that to help fill in the holes. It provides your body the immediate mechanisms instead of waiting for your body to recruit all those mechanisms. In particular,
is that because it uses your own body's material?
Yeah. So
okay.
I'll explain a little further. So the treatment uses this device. We use the skin pen. I really like it. We numb your whole face with some lidocaine for about 20-30 minutes. We take that all off, and this creates, the pen itself creates little micro traumas in there, and it's got about 17 needles, operates at about 7,200 RPMs, and so you get all these little needle holes in your face, right? And then we put the PRP on top while we're doing that as a gel glide, essentially, and it essentially seeps through those pores that we've created. So if you can imagine, if you fell and hit your elbow, right, it would and created a bruise, and it would gradually swell over time and creating that bruise because it's recruiting all of those inflammatory factors, including the platelets in particular. And so by essentially putting those platelets right there, you don't have to wait for that recruitment. Your body's like, oh, we have the tools right now, and we can start the healing process sooner and faster. So I like to tell patients, we essentially imagine we cut your hand and we took that blood and put it on your face. And so your body thinks that you've cut your face and it needs to heal it right now. So
cool. Wow.
Yeah, it works really well. For anti-aging, it really helps, again, help lift things and tighten the skin. If you have some dark spots that you're really wanting to address, we can really focus on those as well. So I'm a huge fan of that. I do it at least twice a year in between my Botox treatments. So I'm a huge fan of that. It's a great treatment, all natural, awesome.
Nice. And so what treatments do you offer that you would say are the most popular right now?
That one, microneedling, is one of our more popular ones.
Okay.
As well as we do a hydrofacial, which is kind of a medical grade facial. What I like about that and what people are liking about that is you come out with this just beautiful glow. Your skin looks awesome. You can also, it's essentially shooting water and our reagents into the pores to help clean, to exfoliate and cleanse, and then it will. We can add boosters of like peptides or like a Brightenol again for those dark spots, or if you're like, hey, I really have some wrinkles I'm really trying to address, you can add those and other peptides to it, and they have hundreds of different boosters for different purposes, and so depending on what your skin evaluation and what you're trying to do that my team does, we'll pick a booster that's right for you. So it's a very customizable facial, which is really nice. And then when they walk out, it doesn't have that redness that people tend to get from a traditional facial, so they can go right back to work or get right back onto their day without having to miss a beat and being like, oh, I'm really red, I need to just go home, or they can go right back to life. It's really a popular one.
That's fantastic. And how long does a treatment like that take? Are you in the med spa all day? Is it about an hour? What time frame are we looking at?
Yeah, like the microneedling does take about an hour. And then the hydrofacial just kind of range from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on, again, do you get that booster in there? We do use some like red and blue light therapy. Red light helps with anti-aging. The blue light really helps with acne if you're having something like that. It also does some lymphatic drainage as well. So depending on, how many add-ons you want to add on, put on there. If you're like, oh, I'm really having some extractions that I need to taken care of. So if you could just go get those out as well. Oh, and what's fun at the end of all of it too, you get to see your gunky tube, which is kind of the waste products that you pull off of your face. It sounds absolutely terrible, and it is disgusting, but it's so cool because you can, we kind of put a little light under it so you can see all the cells and just stuff that we've pulled off your face.
Wow. Kind of like the vacuum bag that you get to see after you've vacuumed the floor, right?
Yeah, it is exactly what it is. Exactly what it's, but it's a bunch of fluid, and when you're like, oh, that was on my face. Terrible.
Wow. Yeah, that could be pretty scary.
Yeah,
I'm sure. And so it sounds like a lot of these treatments could literally be done like on a lunch hour. If somebody just wants to come in and have a quick appointment, you could get a lot done in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and we do have a lot of people that do that, and that it is a popular time around 11:30, 12:30. People are just popping, like, hey, I'm here to get my facial, or even just get their lash extensions done as well. So they'll be like, yep, let's get in and out. It's great. Go back to work.
I love lash extensions. Lash extensions are so great. They last for a really long time, and they make your eyes look so light and bright. You don't even need mascara. You can just walk out the door and look wonderful. So go ahead and tell me about that, about the lash extensions.
Lash extensions. Yeah. So just like you were saying, they get them put on, and it really makes everybody's day a little bit faster because they are dark. They do last. So you don't have to, put your mascara on every day. They're ready to go. What's a little bit different about our system is we use UV light and this special glue that most people don't use. Most people are using this black lash glue. It does work really well, but it has to cure, and so they can't get it wet. If they get any oil on it, the lashes could fall off. And so they really have to protect it for at least 24 hours following their lash appointment. The way our system works with this UV light, it takes about 3 seconds for the UV light to cure the glue, and our ladies are ready to go. They're essentially waterproof. It's oil resistant, and so they're not. And again, getting right out into the world, not having to worry about like, hey, I can't go to the gym today because I got my lashes on. Got put on today. So and what's also nice with this, we're getting a lot longer retention. So the typical retention with that black glue is about 2 weeks on average. We're getting a little bit more along the lines of 3, sometimes 4, even out to 6 sometimes, depending on your body's turnover. We all lose lashes pretty regularly, so that's still going to happen. But depending on the times of year as well, like people lose more lashes. As we're getting into summer, you'll see a big shedding season, and they'll lose a bunch of their lashes, and so they'll get more. I have to put it. So But yeah, we're getting a lot longer retention, and so that's one of the reasons we use our system. We do.
Very cool. And I understand that one of your specialties at Pacific Northwest Beauty Bar is weight loss. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's really been popular. If you might know, the GLP ones with the Ozempic and the Manjaro. Um, yeah, we do use that. They're appetite suppressants, so they make people feel fuller longer faster and longer. And so we do pair that with a diet and exercise program. I am a firm believer that, diet and exercise helps you get into that calorie deficit. It teaches good quality habits. So anybody that's on one of these medications, they need to be exercising and focusing on their diet and using this more as a tool to help them get where they want to be. Ideally, you're not on medication lifelong. Less medication is always better.
Sure.
I think if you're in any specialty, that they're going to say less medication is always better. We want to use it sparingly. That way you don't build up any resistance to it or any other major side effects or anything like that. So, but yeah, so we'll put these people on them. They're very effective. I've been on them. I lost about 30 pounds in 10 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really phenomenal. Definitely had some like very noticeable appetite suppression. Very few side effects. I had just a little bit of nausea here and there, but it was very tolerable. I didn't need like additional medication or anything. So it's really impressive. Additionally, what we're about to do this next month, is we're getting a 3D body scale. And so people will have, a body scanner. So what they'll do is they'll stand on this platform. It'll spin them around for about 90 seconds, scanning their body, and it will give us measurements from head to toe. That way we can give people and patients more information rather than just like, here's what the scale says, right? I'm not losing weight, and be like, well, your body's completely changing. And I do hear that a lot on those medications, is that they're like, well, I haven't lost any weight, but all of my clothes are fitting way better. I'm feeling better. I have more energy. And so I'm like, well, let's get something to track all that. You can do it. We could have done it the old fashioned way with the old tape measures and even the caliper.
Sure.
But I was like, it's so time consuming. So I was like, I don't have time to be measuring everybody's arms and chest and waist and legs and hips and things. And so I was like, let's get a device and technology, to help us with that. And so I'm very excited to start using that once it gets here.
Yeah, that sounds so cool to be able to have a visual representation of your body changes. I know for me, I've gone on my own weight loss journey. I have lost over 250 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
And
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been a journey. And, when you get close to the end, and you feel like you're maybe like reaching plateaus, or the scale is changing the same, but your body's different. For me, it turned out that I was gaining muscle mass because I was exercising and I was using things like weights in the gym, not a ton. My goal wasn't, weightlifting and to, seriously grow muscles. It was more just trying to tone, and, get rid of some of the flab that I had, towards the end there. And so I know having a device like that where you could actually visualize what your body's doing is going to be so helpful to so many of your patients.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. And then I do like the, you are resistance training. I really love it when people are resistance training. There have definitely been studies that have been, show like, if you do just cardio, how that affects your body. If you do resistance training by itself or resistance training with cardio. And it still shows that doing just resistance training or lifting is still better than even combining it with cardio or doing it by itself. So I love that you're doing that and putting muscle on. I always want people to put muscle on. It's the organ of longevity, I would say. It really is. So the more muscle you have, and particularly in your legs, is really what correlates to how long you're going to live. And so people that have more muscle in their legs are typically a little bit more active. They do more things, right? But also if they were to trip and fall, they can catch themselves a little bit easier. And two, if they do, they trip and fall and like say they break their hip, they're able to recover from that procedure much easier and then faster. So I do encourage all of my clients. I'm like, start lifting, start doing those squats, doing lunges, whether it's body weight or with dumbbells or something just to help you. Like, but I mean, if depending on where they are in their journey, of course, I'm like, hey, start putting some muscle on and strengthen those legs and glutes. That will help you live longer.
Phenomenal. So there are some really exciting things happening at Pacific Northwest Beauty Bar. You are going through a major remodel and expansion, which I'm so excited to hear about. So tell us all about
Indeed.
that.
Oh, thanks for bringing it up. Yes, we are. We're actually moving our entire clinic just a little bit down the street. We're getting a larger location. We're adding 3 more treatment rooms, and all of our treatment rooms will be much larger. We have these very small, kind of 6 by 12 things, and now we're going to have these like large 10 by 10 rooms. So a little bit more room for my team to move around, as well as the patients, so they don't feel cramped in our rooms. So I'm very excited about that. We've just passed a bunch of inspections. They're just putting the walls up this week. Just got some floor in as well, so I'm very excited about it. And then right next door, they're actually opening up a little wine bar as well. So
Amazing.
yeah, so much, we didn't have enough to do, so we're opening up a little wine bar.
Well, I love the fact that you can either go to the wine bar in advance of your treatment, get a glass of wine, relax, chill, and then go get whatever treatment you want, or the reverse, go and get a wonderful facial or something like that, and then go and chill with a glass of wine afterwards and feel wonderful inside and out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we want. That's what we want. One-stop shopping. It's like, it's right there. It's right
Love
there.
it. And so I know when we were talking before we started recording, you were hoping, fingers crossed, pending on inspections and contractors and all that kind of stuff, like shooting for sort of a March 1st-ish open date.
Yep, that is as long as everything continues to go on course here. I think March 1st is very attainable. I mean, the bar's almost finished itself, and again, if those walls come in, inspections are on time, then we should be in good shape.
I love that. All right. So I'm super curious about your background, how you went from a career in orthopedics and doing surgical work now to being in a med spa. So how did that transition happen?
Oh my gosh, I have my wife to thank for that. She's gotten me into this. I did start my career off in surgery, working in the surgical pool at the hospital, at the local hospital here. And I loved that. I was working with 30 different surgeons across 8 different specialties. And so I learned so much about surgery. I think most surgeons don't even get that opportunity to really like delve into a bunch of different specialties. So I was very lucky to get to do that. And I did a lot of plastics at that time, a lot of orthopedics, general, ENT, all sorts of things. It was an experience. And then I ended up transitioning to orthopedics. Got recruited by one of the doctors there, a Dr. Leo Cho, who's an absolutely phenomenal surgeon. I ended up working with him out in Central Washington for 4 years, and then came back after I met my wife. And she had just started her esthetician business, doing the lash extensions and the facials and the waxing and makeup. And she was like, "Oh, a bunch of my clients are wanting, to try some Botox and filler and stuff." And I was like, "Okay, well, I can go get some training. Why not? Let's go do that." So I went and got training, and we started doing it. And then we ended up just getting so busy that I was able to transition 100% over to doing the med spa stuff. So I attribute a lot of that to just, to having spent so much time with the plastic surgeons and talking their ears off and asking them questions and learning about all that, that I had a knowledge to do it. And my wife is absolutely a wealth of knowledge. Before owning her business or opening this business, she worked at Sephora for 7 years. She knows so much about skin. I would actually argue probably more than even most like dermatologists do.
Wow.
she knows so much, and not just about skin, about things that go on your skin. I mean, like, moisturizers, brighteners, toners, vitamin C's, just and brands. There's
Mm,
millions upon millions of brands of makeup and
yes.
things that people will put on their faces, and she can pull it up just like that. Like, oh yeah, here's that line, here's the 8, 10, 12 things in that line, and she knows what they're for, the types of skin to put it on. She is just absolutely amazing. Her name is Kimberly Cable. If you guys want to check her out, she is wonderful. So
Amazing. And do you still work with her at your clinic?
yeah, we do. We work together every day. And she's actually going to school to get her instructor license so we can start,
Oh, cool.
having esthetician students. We do take interns right now as well. So yeah, we're really expanding into that realm as well with the new clinic space. Um, but yeah, we do work together every day. It's not for everyone. Sometimes we do butt heads on ideas and where we want to go forward. But we always end up, making up at the end and leaving things at work. We do have a rule, like, work stuff stays at work. So don't bring that home. Don't, uh, uh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I never thought I'd be doing this, and I do love it. It's very different than being at the hospital.
Sure.
People come in there in pain and just having real problems, and people come into the med spa and they're happy to see you. They're even happier when they leave. It's really a different experience, as a provider, to be like, wow, this is great. Like, so it's so much more fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I work with my husband too. And so I can appreciate the joys and challenges that come along with that. The nice thing for us is that we each have our own separate responsibilities. He handles the bookkeeping and taxes and the corporate governance and that sort of thing, which I want nothing to do with and know nothing
Yeah.
about.
No, I don't either.
And then I handle all of, the marketing and the content and the,
Brilliant.
all of the creative side of it. So that works out really, really well for us. But, when 5 o'clock comes, it's definitely leave work aside and it's family time. So
Yep.
I appreciate that as well.
Yep. Yeah, it's so important. It really is, to be like, hey, these are the clear boundaries. I think if you're, constantly taking work home, and that's all you're doing, that's all you're talking about, and that just makes it even harder on the two of you. So
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you love most about being an entrepreneur?
oh my God, it's such a different experience. Like, I don't have just one focus anymore. I think when you're in clinic, like when I was in the orthopedics, it's like, this is what I do. And it has really taught me so much more about the world and how it operates, and how to work with people, and
Mm,
not just being like, well, here's your injury, this is how we fix that, here's your options. Like, it's much more ubiquitous, and we have there's so much more involved in a person's life than just like an injury. And so, I mean, I don't know if I could pick one thing. I get to meet so many new people and networking, and I met you, and um, I don't know, that's probably the best thing, is I get to meet all these new people, um, that I otherwise would definitely not have met.
love
So
that. Yeah, I love that about being an entrepreneur as well. So, for people that want to find Pacific Northwest Beauty Bar, how can they find you? What's your address, both
yep,
online and your physical address?
yep, it's pacificnwbeautybar.com. We did just get a new website, so go and check that out. Our physical address right now is 2309 Tacoma Avenue South, Tacoma, Washington, and we're going to be moving to 2325 Tacoma Avenue South, about 100 yards down the street. So it won't be
Mm-hmm.
too far. So if you go to the wrong location, it's right there. So, definitely check us out on Instagram, at Pacific NW Beauty Bar as well. Same thing as Facebook.
Perfect. And you can always just Google, I'm sure, Pacific NW Beauty Bar
Oh,
and
yeah.
find you everywhere.
Yep. Of course. Definitely. So,
Amazing. Any
yeah.
last words of wisdom that you would like to leave our viewers with?
Probably the best thing, wear sunscreen. use it,
Ah,
wear sunscreen. Use
great
it.
advice.
It is. It protects your skin. It's so good for you. Use it. Even in the winter, there's still sun rays getting through. Wear sunscreen.
Yeah,
So,
and I think, that's so interesting to say here in the Pacific Northwest because it's so gray and overcast most of the time. We often think of sunscreen in the summer months when it's
yeah.
sunny outside, but not during the winter when it's overcast. And the sun's rays still get through that cloud cover, right? So
Yep.
sunscreen is important year round.
Yep, absolutely. So, and I do, again, when we do evaluations, we always recommend it. We keep it on hand from several different vendors. So I'm a huge sunscreen fan. So,
Do you have a particular brand of sunscreen that you or your wife recommend?
oh my gosh, we have so many. I can give you probably three brands. I like Sorella. It's kind of an organic type line. Obagi is fantastic, or Zio. Those are excellent brands. I do like those. Circadia is another great line that has them. So yeah, any of those, I love those.
And is there a certain SPF that you should look for?
I usually look for 50 or more.
Okay.
I think there's, like you can get SPF 100. I don't think that that's really necessary. 50 is super protective. It's going to last, most of the day, maybe reapplying one time. 30, I don't think is quite enough. And it does depend on your skin. If you're more fair skin, obviously you're going to need to put it on more often, and how your skin absorbs that as well. So you just have to keep track of it, and and hydrating as well, making sure you're staying hydrated. That protects your skin as well. So
Love
drink water.
that.
Yeah, drink
Great advice.
water.
Thank you. My guest has been Dr. Christopher Stone with Pacific Northwest Beauty Bar. Dr. Stone, I look forward to coming in and seeing your new location once you're up and running in a month or so. Super excited to see the new space. Congratulations on the expansion, and I wish you the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Erica.
You bet.